I need to make sure Mark likes it, even though he's not here. It's for him. And it might not have necessarily made everyone happy, but what gave me comfort is like, I know if I got the opportunity to play that to him, he'd just like give me the nod. And I'm pretty sure that's what he'd have wanted.
Good afternoon and welcome to That's Your Opinion, Not Mine. My name is Chris and we've got Tez floating about somewhere. She's just keeping an eye on everything, but
in the background.
But you can still hear her. She's still floating about, so don't worry. And we've got a special guest this afternoon. We've got Mike Righteous. Thank you for coming down. Really appreciate it,
It's
mate.
my pleasure, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Tez. Thank you.
How you doing? How you doing today? You all right?
Good, yeah. I feel in a good place. Probably I feel better than I've ever felt. And it's cliche to say, like a lot of people say it, but I feel like where I'm at in my life now, I just feel like I've got control of myself and things around me. I can't really control. I don't try to control. But the things I can control, how I interpret things internally, I like to think I've got control of that. But I'm yet to be tested. You know, tests come. And then we'll see when we cross certain bridges when it comes to it. But I'm good. I'm okay.
Well, look, we've got some random questions thrown in the mix, and we like to mix it up. We try not to throw the generic questions, because when I interview or we meet, we like to have a bigger picture of it all. We like to be more emotive and more personable rather than just generic throwing questions at individuals. So, who is Mike Righteous, and why the name Mike Righteous?
Well, at the time, I didn't even know what the word righteous meant. But I'd always been categorized as like a conscious rapper, even before I just listened just as a listener. I'd always listen and prefer to listen to like more conscious rap. I did like certain tracks that were like more aggressive and a little bit hostile and had that element to it. But I was like a teenager, you know what I mean? But I didn't really know what the word meant, and I remember having to ask one of my friends, because I came up with a name, and I was watching, and it was late, and I was watching Mike Tyson fight, and I was like, this guy's like just the best fighter in the world. I just wanted to be like I just wanted to know that whatever I got in my way, like I could fight through it. And so I took a bit of that. I took the Mike Tyson name, and I changed the mic to like the actual mic.
Yep.
And I thought righteous, because it's sort of like, I don't know, in my head it sounded right. In my head it just sounded cool. And I was just young and I didn't really know what it meant. And I think that's kind of like the beauty of it. Like the name sort of took me, and I didn't really choose the name. I didn't really even know what it meant. And then I became this sort of figure within the scene, and that people regarded as like one of the righteous ones. But yeah, I remember having to knock on my mate's door, and I was like, and he was like, what's going on? It's like 2 a.m. I was like, I was just thinking, I've got a new rap name, because my original name was Mr. E. It's tattooed on my arm. That was just given to me by like just back in the day when everyone was just doing like garage rapping, and everyone had a rapid name at that point, and that was my one, but it needed to change. And then I remember knocking my friend's door. I was like, what does righteous mean? And he was like, why is that? And I was like, because I want to change my rap name to Mike Righteous. And he was like, yes. He was like, that is the name. And then it just stuck, really.
That's wonderful, man. Mr. E.
Mr.
It was
E.
on the basis of Mr. T, no?
Nothing to do with
okay,
Mr.
I just was
T.
checking. That's fine. I was just checking.
Yeah, Mr. E. And then I'd get people like hitting me up for certain substances that I didn't acquire. I was like, no, that's not what I'm called that. That's not what I'm called that.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a good job you did change that.
That's a change your name, yeah.
Quality. I'm going, with your music and stuff, writing your lyrics. What comes first? Backing track, lyrics? How do you work it? What's the process?
I just try not to force it. I don't believe in digging for stuff to write about. I've done that many times, and I've hated the process. And it's about loving the process and doing something you enjoy more than anything. It's not really work. It's not really anything. It's just for me like a vital part of my growth. So to write is just to feel inspired, to come away from something feeling inspired, feel passionate about something. And it will just flow however it flows. Sometimes I'll sit in a dark little shed on my own with absolutely no one writing, and it will all flow out sometimes I'll just be in an aggressive place and everyone will be hyping me up and I'll be writing something crazy. And then sometimes, you know, I just want to get in there and just not think too much and just have fun, and the beat will just be playing and I'll be like, do you know what, I don't even want to write, get me in the booth and let me just start freestyling. And some of my best tracks came out like those ways. But I think the fundamental of it is don't dig, don't force, and let whatever controls the universe guide the moment to a degree.
Gotcha. Also, have you ever got a track and you really like, and then just thought, you know what, I'm binned it completely, thought, nah, not having that.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
I got thousands of songs, man. I've got thousands of songs, hundreds that I haven't put out. And I don't know why, like, I'm super critical of myself sometimes. Like, I'm my own biggest critic. So if there's one thing in there that I'm not too keen on, like, I just won't put it out. If it's slightly dated or it gets a little bit old and my values and views slightly change, like, I just won't stand by it. But some of the stuff that I put out that's out there, I'd say like 90% of it, like, I'll stand behind and say, yeah, that's me. But then life's about growth as well, so I want to document my growth, and I want people to see it, and I want them to be able to see me grow through my music. So it's good to have that stuff out there as well. But yeah, tons of songs I've binned. Some songs actually got put out that I wish I binned, but they're out there now.
Yeah, we might have some questions around that coming up.
Yeah,
anyway.
go on then.
So yeah, touching on, you know, it's a very sensitive, I would say, to me personally as well, to be fair, it is Margate Boy. Did you feel like you was under pressure because of the nature of the song, and did you approach it differently, as you would? And was you, I say, happy with the outcome? I don't mean that as in happy, but was you, did you do it justice, so to speak?
I mean, I had to think of it like, at first, I was very just scared to do the song, because it just felt like it's something Mark asked of me. Like, he asked me to do it, but I knew everyone else was going to scrutinise it. But then I had to take myself away from that thought of caring what everyone else thinks. But I need to make sure Mark likes it, even though he's not here. It's for him, and it might not have necessarily been made everyone happy. But what gave me comfort is, like, I know if I got the opportunity to play that to him, he'd just, like, give me the nod, and I'm pretty sure that's what he'd have wanted. And I think he asked me for a song, and he asked me for the song, so I had to just remember that as well. Like, he didn't ask any other rapper, and he knows the kind of rapper I am, so I did what I do, and I was proud that I'd done that. And I didn't go the other way. I didn't try and make people happy, and to a degree, like, I didn't even just come out and be like, oh, this guy's the best guy ever, like, and just, like,
it's easily done.
Yeah, there's no need to, like, I didn't want to, like, put band-aids over stuff and just and
kept it real.
Yeah, I wanted to just keep it authentic, and if anything, I want people to, I want the emotional impact to really get across to people.
There's a message there.
Yeah, because if anything, it's a message of suicide prevention. So absolutely. It has to be raw and it has to hurt. And, you know, some people were unhappy with it. Some people were, like, really close to me. Like, I was really worried about hearing it, but I anticipated the outcome, so I wasn't worried about it. But in terms of the actual process of writing it, it was difficult. But like I said, like, I wasn't forcing it. It was just flowing out, and I always know when it's right, because when I think back to the writing process, I can't quite remember it. Like, it all seems like a bit of a blur. So
powerful is very powerful, and I was listening to it a little bit this morning and just turned it off halfway through. It gets me, you know.
Yeah, it's hard. I see people doing, like, reactions on YouTube, and they don't even really know. They're not close to the situation, and they struggle to, like, get to the end of the song. But yeah, I think that it has an impact on people. Like, they go to bed thinking about it. They don't. There's no sexy time with their wife that night. They go home thinking about that song that is in their mind. You know what I mean? And that's how you have impact with art. Is, in my opinion, like, creating moments that stay with you, that stick with you, that you can make your own decisions based on. They become sort of like a little bit of like a soundtrack to your own struggles.
Of course.
And that's, I know for a fact, because I see and I read countless messages every day in, day out, and the majority of them are like, that song's like saved my life, saved my son's life, like helped my daughter, and I get to see like the direct effects. So I know it was all for the best.
Of course. Oh, thanks for that. I know how emotional it can be, so thanks for, so we can cover that, because I needed to cover that. I just did, simple. So if you could speak to your younger self during the time you wrote and uploaded No More Freestyle in 2008, what would you say to him?
That's interesting, because this is a concept that I've thought about a lot. I used to think like, you'd say, if only I knew what I know now, like back in school, you'd be like a completely different person. I think that's a concept that has always like stuck with me. Like I've always wanted to speak to myself or send a message out to myself. And the thing is, with music, you're able to like create realities and go back in the past somewhat, you know what I mean? Through art, we're able to visit the past. And what I did is I've written a song called Darkness, which is on my Suicycle album. And that song is actually a letter to myself when I was a child. And that's when it starts. If only I could meet the old me, I'd say, little bro, there's so much that you don't see, so many people around you don't need. I'd reach out and tell them what they never told me, which is in itself like a whole message to myself. And I felt like that's another thing I was putting off. I was putting off doing that. But when I finally got to do it and I put the message out, and it starts with that sentiment of, if I could meet the old you, I'd say there's so much that you're going to go through. But the final fundamental is, but you need to live your whole experience in order to become here, to become who you are today, and to become who you will become in the future. So if anything, it's a very healthy cycle of going through pain, growing through pain, and becoming better throughout the whole process.
Definitely. Okay, another question. This one's from Tez, right? The out there questions are from Tez, nothing to do with me, yeah, so bear with me. Okay, you can tell by that question, this is where we're coming from. So, if you could be a 90s, 50s gangster, what kind of gangster would you be?
A 1950s gangster?
Yeah.
I'd be like Robert De Niro in like Goodfellas or something.
Whose name it's on? Are you stupid or what? Did you hear what I said?
I'd want to be like a Robert De Niro guy, you know what I mean? Like, he isn't he's not the most evil one, but he's like firm, but he also, I think he's got a good heart deep down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was that new film, The Irishman? Did you see that?
Yes.
That was quality.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's who I want to be like. What's that? Who was the guy he was playing in that?
That was the Union guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, what's his name though? The Irishman.
The Union guy who they got rid of, didn't they?
I can't remember his actual name.
Google it.
5 minutes later.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa, that's the one.
Who it is.
Right.
It's a good film though.
It was a banger.
But saying that, at the same time, I like the craze.
Who are you, Fanny Craddock? What are you going to do with that? You're going to bake me a cake, you're going to sing me a song, watch me blow out my candles.
But they're not from that. Is that the 50s? Are we?
Well, 60s, yeah.
They're 60s, okay. Okay, a bit late.
There is a method to our madness while we asked you that anyway.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that's I don't know, I'm not sure. But I'd say like one of them type of guys.
These are the random questions. Yeah. So another stupid question from Tez. I'll take that. I'll take that back. Sorry, another question.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I try to be different, you know.
No, different is good, Tez. Different is good. If you had the opportunity, would you collaborate with Adele?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to collaborate with Adele if I had the opportunity. Is there an opportunity to do that? Is that the next question? Damn.
Oh, Mitch, no. I was just saying. I think that would be a good combination. To be honest with you.
Same.
Absolutely, wouldn't it? It'd be fantastic.
No, that would be an amazing collaboration.
Yeah, because I was listening to Darkness, and then I listened to Adele. What track was it? Someone Like You, and I just thought the two together would go brilliantly. And then I thought, if you did a track together in this similar sort of style, I think it would work out brilliant.
Yeah, to be honest, I would be so scared of like getting in the studio with someone like a powerhouse like that. But I think after a bit of like time,
It'd be fine.
it'd be fine. But I've worked with some crazy names, and it's just been fine. But there's some people that I know that if I was in the studio with, I'd just be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in the studio with you. But she's one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, good question in the
Yeah,
end.
love
And
Adele.
See, I told you.
I absolutely love
All
her.
right, calm down. Take it easy.
I actually, there's this blog on Instagram, and it's like quite a famous Instagram page, and they get like heaps and heaps of like people liking their stuff, and it's called I'm Just Bait, but they've got like, they do like hood stuff for younger people. And Adele wore us dressed to carnival, and then they started making fun of her, and I was on all of their posts like, stop making fun out of Adele. I actually direct message guys like, you shouldn't be making fun out of people, especially Adele. And then he was like, I'm sorry man, like I really like you and your music. I was like, well, stop taking the piss out of Adele then.
Yeah. They changed their tune then, didn't they? Quality. No, good question, Tez. Well done. Hot sauce. I need to speak to you about it. What made you want to make your own hot sauce?
Because I don't think there's any sauces out there that's hot enough. So I have to just do one for myself, because I've tried all the hot sauces. Like I've got a separate shelf at the top of my fridge specifically for condiments. I'm the king of condiments, you know. I'm the king of condiments. I got every type of hot sauce.
That is the guy to teach.
And none of them are that hot. I even got a few of the hot ones challenges. Do you know when you see the guys doing hot ones they eat
hot
wings?
wings, yeah.
And there's that hot one right at the end. It's called the bomb. And I took it and I was eating it and I was like, it's all right, but it's not like blow your face off hot. It's just kind of like hot. And it's like 1.2 million Scoville heat units, which is quite a lot. So then I thought, if I'm struggling to find heat and I'm having 1.2 million Scoville heat units, I need 9 million. So that's what I did. I made a sauce with 9 million Scoville heat units.
I need a bottle of that, man. I definitely do.
Well, definitely. I'm going to sort that out. I'll give it to Mo and give it to
please.
you. Sure, man. I'd love that.
Where did the recipe come from?
The recipe came from me just wanting to make the hottest hot sauce. So I found the hottest chilies in the world, which is a scorpion chili and a Carolina Reaper chili, and then we just mashed them together. We took the two hottest chilies in the world and we just put them together, and I was like, right, that is too hot, let's add some pineapple or something. Like balance it out with some citrus. Added some pineapple in there, and it was like, okay, all the other ingredients in there, like the secret recipes, and like you got your the vinegars and this, that, and but yeah, it took a few like going back and forth, and I had to try a lot of hot sauce in the process. But yeah, we got there in the end.
Obviously, it's a play on words, fire in the booth, hence fire in the tooth. Were there any other names before that you come up with?
Well, we are like just expanding out into like the food market, because I am passionate about food. It's just one thing I just love. Like I'm sure we all do. You know what I mean? I have to stop myself eating constantly. Like it's like a battle. Like, I just stop myself eating all the time. So I have days where I'll be like, I'll fast, and I'll make sure I'm out of respect for my body and like being able to appreciate the food when I do have it. Like I try and fast, and then when I do eat, like I'll eat nicely. But yeah. The what was he talking about? The play? It was the play.
Fire in the tooth,
okay.
Fire in the booth. Did we have any more names?
Oh,
or did
any
you
more
just
names? Yeah,
come
no.
straight to that.
To be honest, it was kind of another reason why we even started the hot sauce, because I just wanted to make a fire in the tooth joke.
Right.
So someone was like, "Oh, you actually started a whole hot sauce company just to run this one joke," and I was like, "Yeah, I did." I was like, "Yeah, I did that." But yeah, we're going to bring out a whole different variety. That was just the first one.
That was the next question.
Yeah.
You're going to make any more sauces?
Yeah, we're going to do a bunch of different foods stuff. We're gonna do our own like cured meats and healthy biltong and stuff like that, and other sauces, different range. It's not all going to be fire in the tooth, but it's going to be like righteous foods. You know what I mean? And we're gonna help people, open people's minds up to some healthy alternative medicines, which is also can be taken as like food supplements. So I'm a very big fan of like Irish sea moss, which is very like potent in a lot of the nutrients that we need. A lot of medicinal mushrooms that I use and take, and there's all sorts of stuff we can do with it as well. So yeah, we're going to just start slowly but surely opening that door and entering that industry, because I think we could do some good things and help a lot of people.
Interesting.
Just by making people's lives a bit healthier, because I've done it for one, and I think all the stuff that directly affects me and is a threat to me physically is also a threat to me and mentally as well. So I have to realise that if I could take greater care of my system, especially my gut and my gut health, then my mind will just sort of follow suit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, watch this space. Looking forward to it, to see
yes, definitely.
what's coming with the food.
Different sauces as well, lots of chili sauces.
Nice.
And
need to get that, man. I'm going to be on you for that. You know,
we're doing a lot of fermented stuff as well. Fermented foods.
Nice.
Like cabbage and kimchi and garlics, and yeah, there's stuff that's really good for you. It's got good probiotic bacteria and it's really good for your health.
Interesting.
So the main thing is not just like to create food, and we're trying to just make food that is like good mental health food. That's the key.
That's excellent. That's a good project to have going forward.
Because I think if you got to have balance.
Of course.
I think life's about enjoying things to a degree, but if you know you can do some stuff that counteracts, you know, the donuts that we eat and stuff, then maybe you don't feel so guilty.
Of course. Nice one. New album coming up. What can we expect with the new album? What direction you taking the album?
Well, at the moment, I'm just making songs. I'm just making music, getting the flow back into it. I'm building a studio in my room. It's like a little home setup. I wish I'd done it sooner, to be honest, but I'm doing it now. And I'll just see what comes of that. I've got some songs that I'm definitely going to use for it, like 3 or 4. There's a whole load of other songs I'm definitely going to use like 3 or 4, but the rest I'm just going to sort of make in my own environment, in my own space, see what I can come up with. But yeah, like I'm definitely not gonna. Well, I'm not sure. I don't want to give away too much, but I got so much that I want to do in my life that I think after this album, like I might take just a break off the music for a bit. Might even be my last album. I'm not sure, don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty tasty, isn't it?
Yeah. I haven't really even spoke about it too much anywhere else, but yeah, might be my last one.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
So I've got an exclusive today, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Any collaborations that you can speak about on the album? Will there be any? I know you probably can't say, but...
Yeah, well, I haven't at the moment. There are people that I know I could reach out to, but I just always never really had, like, been big on, like, filling my albums with other people's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know why. It's just something that's never happened for me. So I just never really done it unless it happens and I make a good song with someone. I'm like, I might keep that and put it on my album. It's happened 1 or 2 times with some great people, like people that I wouldn't even expect to work with. Like my last 3 projects. One had no features on and had like Vivienne Westwood as a feature. It's like it's a 90-year-old lady
crazy.
rapping. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and then we had the Libertines on the last one.
Oh, Pete Doherty.
Yeah, and then on the Suicycle album, I just didn't really have many features at all. This one, I'm not sure. I think there's some people I'd like to get on here, but I'll reach out to them, see if we can make some music and see what happens.
We look forward to that in the future. This is another question from Tez. I have to, highlight that before I ask the question. The red Ducati bike on Instas, is that your? She's a bike freak.
Oh yeah, that red Ducati.
Yeah.
No, that is actually my brother's. And that morning I got a phone call, and it was my manager, who's also friends with my brother, and he was like, "Your brother's in the road on the floor, and he's come off his bike and he's at the top of your road. And I was like, what? And I hung up the phone, I'm going to run to the top of the road, and I've just seen my brother, and like he's limping around. I was like, you all right? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, oh my God, man, I just heard you come off your bike. And I looked at his bike, and like the wing mirror's hanging off, and he had a little bit of an accident. So then he was like, oh, can you look after my bike while I go and get my van, come back and get the bike? So he left me with the bike, and I just thought,
opportunity knocks.
Red shirt, red bike, like my new bike.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just sat in the alley waiting for someone to turn up with the van and take it off.
What model is it? Do you know?
I don't really know too much about bikes.
Fair enough. There you go. Does that satisfy your need for the question?
It does now, I know.
Yeah,
There you go.
I don't think I don't want to get too into stuff like that, because I'll end up like getting a bike, and I shouldn't be on a bike.
Say nothing.
Yeah.
Say nothing. Okay. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done?
Oh, bro. I can't. My kid's here, and
Okay.
it was only on Tuesday, so we need to stop.
Say nothing. Don't worry about it. Okay. Judgment. If there was, if
I do dumb stuff a lot,
okay.
man. But it's just part of me. Like it's part of me just being like in my mind, I am still 11.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I have to like sometimes just do work and that. I'm like just like, okay, Rocky, time to do like adult stuff, like conduct yourself.
I know what you mean.
In my mind, I'm still like a child, man, and it's hard to like. Part of me feels a responsibility, but at the same time, I don't think I want to let go of that part of me, because it's just like I don't know. It's what makes me feel like alive and feel like a person, and I feel like I've learned a lot from my childhood. And from just being around my kids and my family's kids, like you learn so much. You think you don't really ever lose that. It's life that like you go through certain things in life, and you just feel more and more disassociated with that part of you. But I think it's worth hanging on to. But yeah, you can make some silly decisions when you.
You sure can.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you the dreaded question. I interview local artists, rappers all the time, fan it around. And a lot of them, you're their influence. Well, all of them I've interviewed, you're their influence, simple as that. So, and I really despise this question. I hate asking it. You know, who's your influences? It's such a crap question. But I'm going to ask you, who are your influences? Have you got any?
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right, mate.
I've got this carpet, you know. Like I ordered this same carpet like a couple of days ago. You know, this is the carpet in our living room. It's exactly the same. Sorry.
That's all right.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
My influences musically, there's loads of people. Just not even the artists themselves. I'm quite influenced by some of the producers, some of the mix engineers, just some of the stuff that I've never really knew went into music before when I was just a listener. But getting involved in music, you realise how much goes into it after. Like, and you look at some people's songs, and there's just like a whole list of credits. Like, but in terms of like writers. Who are my greatest influences as actual writers? Then I'd definitely put like Eminem in the top, Tupac in the top, DMX in the top, and I'd put myself in there as well.
Of course.
Yeah, I put myself in there because sometimes I surprise myself when I do some things, and I'm like, it's good to like dig in that little cookie jar in your mind and take a little biscuit and be like, I did that. I can do it again.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And sometimes when I'm like, feel like, how am I meant to write this thing? This seems so challenging. And then I can just recall times where I've written stuff that's been even more challenging. I thought, no, but I did that, so it's good for me. It's like when you run your first 10 kilometers, you know you can do 11 kilometers because you've done 10. So you can always just try and go that little bit further if you know what you've already been capable of. If you try and improve, we sort of like don't realize the power of like little improvements. If you run 1 mile a day, by the end of the year you're running 365 miles. So yeah, it's just like little tiny things, and then that sort of helps me. And yeah, I'm kind of. But if we're talking about like what motivates me to be like a strong person and a good character in life, than just everyday normal people. Like a lot of just ordinary normal people. And then some of the figures that we see, like some of the greatest like sporting athletes, you have to look up to them, don't you? Because they have like incredible backstories and stuff. But yeah, I just like speaking to like everyday normal people like yourself that have been in the depths of despair, but like you're right here before us now, and everyone has like an incredible story to tell, and sometimes you just got to look past their ability to tell that story and look in their eyes and say there's a story in there. You don't even have to know it, but everyone's been through something.
Absolutely. Powerful stuff. Suicycle, brilliant album, by the way. It's so powerful. We touched on Margate Boy, but the rest of it, how did that come about? And you know, because it's very emotive. Once again, you know,
it was like every time I speak about it, and every time anyone else speaks about it, there's always like very like big. Like if I look a bit into like body language and the psychology behind it, and whenever I discuss this with people, like it becomes something that we're all very much like because it's like one of them things. It takes the sort of the wind out of you. Like it can almost like push you back a bit and like make you realize so much, and stuff like that you can't force, you can't fake.
No.
Like it's just all just genuine stuff. And I hadn't released an album as like that part of me for about 6 years, because the album prior to that was just me just going a bit doolally, just screaming and shouting on tracks, which I like as well, like but there was a lot going on inside that I didn't really internalize, and it was all just building up. And I came to a point in my personal life where I was just probably at one of my lowest points, and I just felt like I lost a lot of things around me. It was around the time that Mark died. I just literally was in a really rocky stage in a relationship that I was really trying to dedicate myself to. I was trying to really like change myself in order to suit someone else's needs or someone else's idea of what I had to be, and then I just completely lost myself. I'd lost contact with like my daughter. I'd done everything like a desperate man, as a bit of a dangerous man, and I'd clutched to so many like small straws and just tried to swing from them. And then to the point where I'd even got like taken into like police custody, and some stupid places I got taken because my mind weren't in the right place. And then I had to literally just look around and just be like, right, you got really nothing going on now. Like you burnt a lot of bridges, and you sort of destroyed yourself, which is all right, because now there's nothing but just free land to build on. You can just rebuild.
Sometimes we have to break down to build ourselves up. That's the only way.
Yeah.
You know.
So I went on a little path of self-destruction, but there was nothing but like space to like do what I do. And then I just said to myself, like, the one thing you've got right now is the ability to like turn this sort of pain into something positive. Like, and I had a friend who owned a studio not too far from here. It's just literally around the corner from here. And I'd went there, and the first song I actually recorded and writ for the album was... What was the first song I'd done? The first song I'd done for the album was Because I Love You, which started off as just like two verses. But in them 2 verses, I was like, yeah, no, this is what I should be doing. Like, I put what I went through into words, like perfectly, better than I thought I could even do if I sat here and thought about it and actually spoke to someone. Like, I put it into words, like, and I put it out like perfectly, in my opinion, and I was really happy with how I dealt with that. And then after that, I wrote the song Work, which was another sort of monumental time in that period of my life, because then I'd realised, oh, I can be happy. Like, I just have to do like a lot of like work on myself, and that's where I wrote the song Work. It's all about just working on yourself, and I had that moment of realisation. And other songs that came off the back of it were either about people I loved and like lost, or about the sort of power in taking your own pain and like owning it and making it some sort of powerful tool. And that but yeah, a lot of it was based on the aspect of like mental health, because some of my friends, even before Mark committed suicide, I lost one of my childhood friends that I went to school with, and then obviously what happened with Mark happened, and then later on the same kid that I went to school with, his own brother, the same thing happened to him. So, and I just thought about, there's a mother there who's lost 2 children to the same cause. Like this can't be like okay. Like they're feeling the same pain that all my family felt. And it's just like a crazy like domino effect. And I thought, it's not really, people do speak about like mental health and a mental struggle, but I don't think we actually realise how much of an impact it has on humanity as a whole. Like I think every single one of our problems as a population directly leads back to our struggles with mental health, even when it comes down to like racism, just the way we eat, the way our diets are set out. It's just, for me, it's like one of the biggest things to like think about and help. And as an artist, I like to fight and stick up for many people and have many battles, but that's my linchpin, you know what I mean? That's what I want to be remembered for. That's what I want to do. I know I'm here to do work and do good and bring joy to people's lives, but also I want to highlight that like every single person, in somewhat way, we all have our own like mental illnesses. And yeah, I think my album Suicycle was me realising that about me. Was like, this is what I got to do. This is my thing to stand up for. And that's where it come from, really.
And no doubt it helps many people as well to come to terms with their own struggles.
I never made the song because I wanted to be like like extra popular. I just writ the album because I was in a place, there was some stuff that I know I needed to get off my chest, and it just helped people. And when you make something, when the ethos of your company is like to basically do good and help people, you'll realise you'll get success with that. And with it was like one of my most successful albums I've ever released, which I didn't really care about. I wouldn't mind it. I'd rather it just get to one person and get through to that one person and help that one person than it get through to a million people that had really just a small effect on. Yeah, I'm very proud of that piece of work.
So you should be.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it, man. Sorry about that.
That's fine, no worries. We're coming to the end soon. Just a few more questions before we wrap up, if that's all right.
No worries.
Up and coming gigs, you've got a couple of intimate ones coming up. Can you speak to us about that? And is there any more gigs coming up after that? Yeah,
I got the 3rd and the 4th of November at the Albion Rooms in Margate. I've got 2 shows back to back, sold out. We're going to do like a nice acoustic version of like the songs of Suicycle, so they'll be like listened to like in a way that no one's heard them before.
Wow.
I haven't even linked up with a guitarist yet, so I'm still in my shower in the mornings just like practicing my songs and that.
Always the best way.
Yeah, but I like them shows. I kind of prefer them because the crowd's like really close, everyone's really intimate, like you can get into you can really get into people's heads and that. But yeah, there's no greater feeling than just being on stage and having like a whole crowd sing along to your stuff with you. And I think Suicycle, I can't wait to perform the album because a lot of the songwriting was designed so people could ingest it properly. Some of my other songs are a bit multi-syllable. There's a lot of multi-syllables going on, and it's hard if you're not an avid listener of rap music. It's going to be hard to catch on to everything. So I designed Suicycle to be a little more easier to listen to just the average listener. So I put a lot more melodic choruses in there, just a lot more focused on like the patterns and the cadence and the delivery and that. But I'm really looking forward to performing it, because I haven't actually performed since before the lockdown, and that's when I released Suicycle. So I've never performed Suicycle ever. I've never performed any of the songs off them.
Wow.
And I writ it with the purpose of being able to perform it, which just sucks really, because like, I never got to perform it, and it was like written for that purpose. But I'm finally getting to do it, and I'm like, just want to make sure that I have it down to a T, because this is one part of the job. Even my brother said it on the way up here. He was like, how do you do the writing? Like, because I can't do it. And I'm thinking, man, I wish the writing was just like the writing's the easiest bit. Like, you could just do the writing and it's just there on the paper. But then you have to do the learning. Then you have to do the remembering. Then you have to just spit it exactly like it sounds on the song, and you got to get it word for word. And there's some verses in that album. One in particular that I'm struggling with at the moment is called Right Back Round. Because when you're in the studio and you're recording, you can say, right, stop there, let me take a breath, let me jump in. Like when you're doing it live, you just got to do it all in one. So yeah, I'm practicing that one in the shower at the moment. It's a bit hard though, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm struggling. It's difficult, bruv. But yeah, that's 3rd and 4th of November at the Albion Rooms. And then they're like the intimate, quiet shows. Then we got some big shows in February 2022. So February 2022, we got Band on the Wall in Manchester, which is a big venue. And we're doing the O2 in London, which is even bigger. So we're going to just stick with them dates at the moment. Just play it by ear, drop a few more dates. Like, I'm a notorious non-tourer. I don't really turn up at shows. I don't really do festivals. I get bookings and I just turn them down. Like, I'm not about the money. As long as I'm okay and I can buy the necessities and take care of people, like I would if I was working an everyday job, I'm kind of okay with that. Like, if I can pay my rent and do my thing and have this area of expertise where I'm like, oh, pretty much everyone in this country knows me for what I do. I might not be the most like famous, but I think I'm your like favorite MC's favorite MC.
You've got a cult following, like,
yeah.
Listen, everyone, like, people know, like, obviously.
I used to underestimate it. I used to not really see it for myself, but now I've kind of realised, like, there's like a small little army out there.
There is. I've got my ears on the ground, and I'll speak to a lot of people, and trust me, I know a lot of the people in the industry, like a lot of the other artists, and there's a lot of figures in the industry that they don't necessarily agree with how I've done some things and been the way I've been, because it's a direct threat to how they are and what they do. So I don't really get that whole thing. But they also know that they can't, as much as they can't come out and support me, they can't come out and discredit me, because the army will be onto them. They don't like it. They've tried it, and then they're like, where did all these Mike Righteous followers come from, and why are they so nuts? Like, they're seriously like die-hard fans. I don't even like calling them fans, because they seem like family. Like, I speak to them on a regular basis. Like, there's like 3 or 4 people I'm speaking to at the moment, and at one point in my life, my missus actually had to say to me, like, stop inviting people that we don't know to your house. I'm like, yeah, but they like my music, and they're like, but you don't know them, and you keep giving your address, and they're turning up and stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Be careful with that one.
Yeah, yeah.
You might get the odd nutcase.
Oh, they are. They usually, and it's always like, oh, bruv, I'm really struggling. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. And I'm like, come stay with me, man. I'll make you food, and we'll chill, and everything will be all right.
Your heart's in the right place.
Yeah, yeah. But my mind's a little bit like, I need a little voice of reason sometimes, just to like say, just remember that you can't do everything. Like, what you do is enough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Cool. One from Tez's mum. Yeah, this one.
Is it?
Tez's mum.
I like this.
Basically, because for the first time I never heard of you until your sister played Margate Boy, and I was struggling to hold back tears when I heard that.
Really?
Yeah, and that's how.
Did you know Mark as well?
I didn't.
No.
Obviously, when I met your sister, obviously she played the tracks. I've never heard of you.
We went round
to that, and I'm like struggling not to cry my eyes out at the same time. And I'm like also thinking, who the f*** is this guy? Like, where did he come from? Well, I've never heard of you before. So anyway, yeah, I played like your music to my mum, and she hates rap. She's not a cup of tea. But you She loves.
Really?
Yeah, she's 69 and she actually really does like your music.
Wow.
Which even I was quite surprised about. But yeah, she was watching one of your videos with me the other day and she asked me to ask you,
Okay.
what is it with all rappers grabbing your crotch?
Oh,
Apologies.
that
but
is
she
true.
wants to know.
What is it with that? Like, what is that about?
Says his mum. Yeah.
What is that about? How if I have to sort of come, I guess it's like how can I
Frank
work
says
my
his
way
mum.
around this? What is it with rappers grabbing their crotch? I think it's like a thing of like, maybe they're just checking they're still there, you know what I mean? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just going, I'm still here.
It's really, really distracting. She's watching
Yeah.
the video and it's really distracting. Apparently.
Do I do that?
Apparently.
But I was thinking about this earlier on when I was practicing in the mirror for my shows, which is weird. In my pants, grabbing my crotch. And I thought, what am I doing? What am I actually doing here? And it's them moments in life that you think, I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. But, yeah, I have no idea.
Quality.
It's like, yeah, grabbing hold of my manhood. Just so you know, I know. You're like, I don't know who you're trying to confirm things to, yourself or the audience. But yeah, it's one of them.
Quality.
I don't know. It's just something that rap. I like the fact that your mum listens to and likes and doesn't really like rap, but she likes Mike Righteous. I get a lot of people saying that. A lot of people say I hate rap, but I love Mike Righteous, and that makes me feel like I transcend beyond like rap music, and that's just because of the emotional power that transcends from one place to another. It's almost like mystical, like it's magic. I can actually go through I can capture a real life feeling better than it was when it actually happened. Like when I listen to Because I Love You, it exposes like a feeling that I went through that I didn't really understand while I was going through it, but now I've grabbed that feeling and I've captured it in a little like thing, and that translates all the way across to like someone in Vietnam. They can hear it and they'll be like, oh, it's getting them. It's giving them that feeling that I had, and there's just like a weird little bit of magic in that, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lovely. So we're going to wrap it up. Just one final question, the finale, is what's next for Mike Righteous? What's next?
Yeah, what is next? I'm going to do these shows. Like I said, I'm building a little setup. Well, I've spent quite a bit of money building like something decent where I don't have to I can just sit in my room, wake up, just do my work. Because sometimes I want to be in the studio for 48 hours non-stop and not eat no food, and producers and engineers don't want to do that with me. They're like, I want to eat, and I'm like, I don't want to eat or sleep. And they're like, oh, I need to eat and sleep. So I'm like, fair enough, I can't exactly expect you to like do what be like, you know what I mean? Because this is, no one cares about no one should care about you more than you. And that's what I was like. So I just want to make sure that I get my own setup, so I'm not draining anyone else out. I can just spend hours on end in there and see what I do musically. And I don't know what's next for me. That's not up to me. That's up to whoever's running this show, because it's not really up to me. And I like to live like that. I like to live like in this moment, because that's all I have. The future might as well have not happened, because you can't get it back.
That's right.
And the past, sorry. The past might as well have not happened, because you can never get it back.
That's right.
And then the future's not guaranteed. So all you do have, and the only thing that is promised, are these vital seconds. And every second that passes becomes the past anyway. So who knows? This might all be a simulation. I might get abducted by aliens later.
You never know.
So I don't want to give you no promises, you know.
Quality.
I'll be back again, though. I'm definitely going to come back if, like, God willing, everything goes right. I get some new albums out. We help some more people. I get like into the food. These are my ambitions, by the way. I get like into the food game. Like I really want to open some people's eyes up to some of the things that I've been taking, some of the nutrients that I've discovered that have really helped me. Like just for sure helped me. I just think, if I just do what I can do, just be happy in this present moment, and just appreciate every day as it comes, and take every day as it comes.
I really appreciate you coming down.
Nah, thank you, man. Honestly,
It's lovely, man.
I well appreciate it.
You've been watching That's Your Opinion, Not Mine. I've been Chris. Tez is in the corner. Mike Rogers is in the building, and you got the lovely Mo and the little man.
Little man Elijah.
Yeah. So we'll see you next week. We don't know what we're going to do next week, but wherever it is, it is. You know how we roll. So until next week, it's peace out.
Peace.
And it's goodbye from me.
Bye, Tez. Cheers.
Round of applause for you.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed that.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you,
man.
That question about the crotch was my favourite one. That was my favourite question.
We were going over.
I'll see if you can.